Mark will be there, I guess. I've seen the message.
All right. We're live. Mark's on his way. We're going to get into some things today. It's been a rough one for me. Peter's got some information that we've got to bring to the light. We're going to get into the GLP-1 craziness that's going on. Still, celebrities want us to all celebrate how easy it is to take these shots. We're going to get into all things GLP-1. And we're going to talk about some cancer today, which has been a tough one for me last week. But we're going to get into all that. Mark's here. Let's get into it.
Is sick and fucking tired of seeing all the carnivore shit all over this fucking house.
I can't even look at a carbohydrate.
Now that I think about it, we probably would.
You know, that it doesn't make sense.
I was tired of the guessing games, faking health, playing diet names, low fat life, vegan soul, but deep inside I didn't feel whole. Then came fire, then came fat, steak on the plate, I bounced right back. No more crashing, no more drag.
You're literally treating your diet like a fucking religion.
Look forward to talking about this recent controversy. I've already been doing it for over 2 weeks now.
Your fiber intake is fucking zero.
There is a constant in the calculation.
It is the most toxic fucking diet I have ever seen. Ever. It's not healthy. It is far from fucking healthy. Okay? It is the least fucking healthiest thing you can ever do for yourself.
And we are live. I don't know where Peter went. We're going to bring Mark to the stage.
I'm here.
Peter's gone, but oh, man. Hello, everybody. Welcome into the meat of the matter. It is Sunday. We had a little bit of a time zone issue again. Twice a year we get this. My time goes an hour forward. I could have been here. Last year I was here for an hour waiting, going, what's going on with everybody? This year we sort of worked it out. So yeah, it's been I don't know where Peter went. All his stuff kind of disappeared. He's going to come back onto us, I'm sure, pretty quick. He had all these things lined up, but that's okay because we have, firstly, I just wanted to make a special shout out for last week to Lisa Cherry Beaumont. Thanks for coming on, and Byron, you guys. It was a great show. I had a lot of feedback from your guys' conversation. Thank you for subbing in for me. I do appreciate it. And I know the boys do. And it was a great episode. Thank you. This week, just for everybody's information, man, we were supposed to put out the interview with Kyle from Keto is Key. I've had some family stuff go on. I lost my mom's best friend to cancer. She lost her battle, and it was a really tough one because I was had a big conversation with Kyle, and the whole there was a lot of interview in there about Thomas Seyfried and cancer, and it was really tough for me. So I took a time out from social media for a little bit because I just wanted to reevaluate. And
yeah, I want to apologize to you, Tony, because I sent you a message that I shouldn't have sent you during the week, and I completely forgot about it.
No,
forgot about it.
You know, life goes on, and you know, it's just if anything, it just inspires me to push this message more. You know, I had, just to give everybody sort of a situation. About a year and a half ago, I talked to Sandy about keto, about low carb. And then, you know, over the last 4 months, well, it was right when I was doing these videos about cancer that were getting taken down, which was the reason I was making these videos, was her. And if you guys remember, in the late summer when I was doing this, well, she lost her battle, and my hearts and prayers are with Sandy's family and my mom. It was tragic. She didn't die of cancer. She died of chemo. Chemo killed her. And, you know, knowing what we know, and, you know, dealing with, like, talking to Kyle specifically and Brian at Hunter Gatherer Mindset about Dr. Thomas Seyfried's research, and just knowing what you know, or what we know, or what I know, and watching person after person fall to this without any intervention with diet. It's tough. But
that's the reason why we have to have this conversation, Tony. We have to have this conversation because she's not the only one. There's going to be a lot of people out there that are listening to this rubbish. And I would recommend, if anybody's out there that are listening to this advice about red meat, you really need to watch this conversation we're going to have today, and you need to watch this documentary, Keto is Key, because this is going to open up your eyes. And if you haven't, like it's not out yet. The documentary's not out yet, but go on to Google and just watch the documentary, because the documentary itself is powerful.
Yeah, and this brings me into why it was delayed on releasing I sat down with Kyle, one of the producers the co-producer of Keto is Key, and we had an amazing conversation, and I wanted to get it out, but during the editing process, it was hard to do, because we talk a lot about the Thomas Seyfried factor, and that's coming out this week, guys. I've got it pretty much ready. It's just, I'm going to release it probably on Wednesday and Thursday. And, it affects us all. And it just blows my mind and frustrates me to hell, because we don't have these conversations. And, from Sandy's perspective, not one conversation through her battle about nutrition or what she could do with her lifestyle. It was just medication, chemo, radiation, the same bullshit. And eventually her body gave up. And, are these things cures? Arguable. Prevention, definitely. There's a lot of stuff to be, and like Mark said, that documentary is going to be huge, and we're going to be pushing it as hard as we can. We're going to get Kyle and Caroline back on and talk to them about it. We've had Anna Rosa on, and we're trying to get Sean O'Mara about how the importance of visceral fat is as well. But you know what, guys, we got a show to do, and we appreciate everybody in the comments, everybody chiming in. Help us out. Please share, like, subscribe, all this stuff to all the channels. We are supporting the carnivore community. Brian's here. Thanks, buddy. We love you. And Brian, we'll talk about some clips about that interview that we did, and we're going to get that out this week. This week, it doesn't stop, boys. Mark, you sent me some stuff, and we're going to talk about cancer today later, but we got to deal with this first, because this is another thing that I've been working on, trying to put together a support group, help coaching for people that life after GLP-1s, whatever reason you got there, whether it was financial, medical system, insurance, or just your body getting taxed with side effects. I'm trying to be the opposing force where it's, whatever way you got there, there's some help and support. That's coming out. It's under construction right now, and it's lifeafterglp1s.com. But this week, Mark sent me some stuff, and this is where, we're talking about cancer being frustrated. I think this is arguably the most insidious side of these GLP-1 injections on how celebrities are glorifying these.
And Tony, maybe also to add in, I think that gastric bypass is like at the same level, right? I see a lot of videos recently about people only after the intervention actually starting to get education about, nutrition basically, and what's good and what's bad, because their stomach is smaller. And so they have to suddenly account for all these digestive factors and what it does with your body. And the same with GLP-1. I mean, that's an important factor. There are more factors to GLP-1, of course.
It's such a pity how people are just obsessed with being thin, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's where we're going at the moment. They're just obsessed that they'll do absolutely anything to achieve it. Absolutely anything.
I think that's I think that's by design. Like, I mean, yell at me all you want, but remember when we were in the 80s celebrating skinniness? All the models, the supermodels, were thin as hell, putting shame on women, and then all of a sudden we glorify obesity. Like it's empowering. Well, look, do you think that plays on the psyche? And then lo and behold, all these GLP-1s start becoming widely available. I don't think it's by design. And I think people are victims without even knowing it, because they're just getting programmed. And that's a deeper, darker subject, I think. But
another thing, by the way, is that you see a lot of people that are reverting to these methods because they have a stressful life, busy life, and then such a solution is the only way, because paying attention to your diet and learning about it is virtually impossible if you are leading a busy life with work and with children and all those things. So and it's just, so it's tricky, those commercials that they make abuse of this fact, basically.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, we're going to get into that right now. So I'm going to play this first one that Mark sent me, and we can comment on it. I think that guy hit it right on the head.
And I think I sent you the photograph of Oprah, but what she used to look like a year ago. She looks extremely healthy. She might have a little bit of weight on her, but she looks a lot healthier. And now look, and it's just amazing that she's gone from that extreme, or she's gone from that to this extreme. It's incredible. It really is.
And you know, I have something. I'm going to try and share my screen here because I want to show just this little snip right here. Let's see if it comes up perfectly. What happened when Oprah stopped taking the medication? Oprah tested what would happen if she quit the drug. She began taking it in 23, but attempted to quit after 6 months to see if she could lose weight without it, even sticking to her diet and exercise routines. Interesting. The media mogul said she gained back 20 pounds after stopping. She was convinced that the medication will be a permanent part of her life. It's going to be a lifetime thing. That right there, what kind of message does that send? I'm going to just remove that now. And like, seriously. This is they're bringing these into lifestyle medication categories. And I don't know how you guys feel about that, but do you really want to be on this drug? And that leads me to the next thing, what all these people are looking like. So the next one I want to say, before I get your comments on it, we'll talk about it. And then we're going to get into the darker side.
And Osborne were both recently seen at the Brit Awards, and a lot of people are commenting on the changes in Kelly's face. What do we think is going on here? The first thing I want to say is, can we just leave the Osbornes alone for a little while? They've already been through enough recently with the passing of Ozzy and so much stress. I think that they deserve a...
Okay, Mark, how does that make you feel?
Or it makes me feel really angry. Like, don't get me wrong. I know people in the world at the moment are stressed, and they think that just losing weight is going to help them. Yes, it will, but there's a right way to do it and there's a wrong way to do it. And I believe that this is the wrong way to do it. I really do believe that. I think this is going to have a major impact on your health long term. I don't think people are giving you this advice. And yeah, I just think that you should be feeling good. And I'm pretty sure if I spoke to these two women, Oprah and Kelly Osbourne, I can guarantee you they wouldn't be feeling good. But they'd say to you, okay, but I need to lose the weight. Because this is where we're going at the moment. They'll say, no, okay, but I need to lose weight. I struggled all my life. I've been with the dietitians. I've been with the PT experts. We couldn't solve this problem. You couldn't solve this problem because these people are clueless. They don't understand the issue here. Because we all know what the issue here is. It's not a calorie deficit. The real issue here is hunger. Why are you always hungry? Why are you thinking about food all the time? That's why they brought out these GLP-1s.
And Mark, more importantly, when you're on these drugs, why are you not thinking about hunger?
Exactly. Yeah. It's insane. It's like people just don't understand that you can do this naturally. But the thing is, when we tell people what you need to do, this information, according to these experts, is what's going to lead to a heart attack. So how do you win? Like, where do you go from here? It's like, okay, well, the information that I'm giving you, this is what's going to help you the right way. You're going to be a lot healthier, but you're saying to me that the information that I'm giving you is dangerous, but you're taking these injections and this is a better option. Like, yeah, the mind boggles.
And the problem is there's going to be people that wake up to this, whether it's disastrous. We've had conversations with Krista DeWeese, who is overdosed on Ozempic. This was like her first shot, and her heart was stopping. Like, and then I saw an interview with her and somebody else that I'm going to try and get on the show, where they've been taking the GLP-1 roller coaster where, well, try Mounjaro, well, try Wegovy, well, try by the time, and she was having brain shutdown. And it's like, do you really want to be this guinea pig? Do you really want to be one of those statistics that they don't mention? There is more people dying of these drugs than are even ever mentioned. And it's like, you have one shot. Do you really want that to happen? Now, if you are on these things and you're having these symptoms and they're not normal, nausea and digestive issues and hormonal problems, those are not side effects. Those are the effects of your body going through mayhem. And do you want to be that? And this is all, it's foodable. That's what, like Mark was trying to say. It's foodable.
But I think it's important, Tony, that people understand this. You should be in a calm state with your body instead of fighting against it all the time.
Yeah.
Like you really do. Like people don't understand. Like if you ask the average person, do you understand what it feels like to be in that calm state around food? None of them would even know what you're talking about. But when you dig deep into it and say, well, this is the reason why you have these emotions around food. This is the reason why you have these triggers with anxiety and it leads to depression and you're just constantly thinking about food. When you dig deep into this and you explain it to them, okay, this is why this is happening. We can actually resolve this. You're not meant to be in this fight or flight situation around food. You're not meant to be panicking. You're not meant to be like, okay, I've had my breakfast in the morning. Oh shit, I'm thinking about food 2 hours later. Oh, I need to eat again another 2 hours later. If you're in that situation, you've got a real problem. A real problem. That's what we call addiction. And that's why these experts just don't understand this. These experts are convinced that the only way to lose weight is to be in a calorie deficit. We all know this works. Every single one of us in the world knows this works. But how long does it last for?
Yeah.
And why do you think it doesn't last? It doesn't last because of that situation. Because you're miserable and you know you're at a point of exhaustion because you're hungry. Your hunger levels are starting to catch up on you.
Yeah, and before I want to touch on something with you, Peter, because since I've been doing my research into these drugs, they claim, this is by the pharmaceutical companies, that simply by lowering your blood sugar, you lose weight. So, what interesting from a type 1 diabetic, Peter, if you change, like you're not low carb, you're just starting out, you're just, you need to inject insulin. We know this. What happens if you add GLP-1 to yourself without changing your diet? What happens?
Yeah, well, I'm wondering, you're talking about higher blood glucose.
Yeah.
Lowering the blood glucose, is that a direct effect or is it an indirect effect? Because I would surmise that it's indirect, that it implicates lower insulin, implies lower insulin, and by that you will have less cravings. GLP-1, of course, also reduces the glucose production by the liver. So it will, by that way, also again reduce insulin.
Yeah.
And less insulin, of course, is less fat storage, at least if you are in a reasonable caloric intake state, I'd say, because at some point, whatever your diet is, of course, if you eat a lot, then you will gain weight, but it's unrealistic to expect that you will eat too much if your insulin levels are all right.
Well, yeah, it's kind of like it's a bait and switch. Yeah, your blood sugar is lower because you're not eating. Okay.
And this is the thing that people have to realize, that indeed, I'm not sure you mentioned it, Tony, I think just a few minutes ago, that you have to understand why GLP-1 is working.
Yes.
And then realize, once you understand all these mechanisms, it's quite an easy step, actually. Well, it needs some more knowledge, of course, about how the carnivore diet and ketogenic diet works. But if you eat that way, that will increase your GLP-1 already.
And it's funny how you say that, because one thing that doesn't change is your body's requirements for actual nutrition, for essential vitamins and minerals, amino acids, fatty acids. That doesn't change. And people are just eating less of what? What are you eating less of? If you're eating less Coke, Doritos, and chips, you're losing weight. Guess what? It is muscle. You're cannibalizing yourself.
That's automatic, right? Once you start to eat less, then the first thing that you will eliminate from your diet, even if you are not so much aware of how dieting and nutrition and health works, you will cut out the Coke, the snacks, because you will still eat your even if it's not perfectly healthy, your meal with rice and potatoes and meat.
Hopefully.
But I looked at
most of cases you will, but then after GLP-1 you will start to reintroduce the rubbish.
I looked at this during the week. I think I looked at it yesterday or the day before. I looked at an Oreo, just one Oreo on its own. Okay, this contains 55 calories. Okay, just an Oreo. When you look at an egg contains exactly 76 calories. Now, if we're going by the logic, and it's about a calorie deficit, well, then I'd be eating the Oreo. I wouldn't be eating the egg.
It's low calorie, Mark.
Exactly. But the hormonal effects of these foods are going to have on my body when when we talk about insulin being elevated and you have to eat on a regular basis, this is the issue right here, because you're eating the wrong food. Sugar impacts insulin, and when it becomes chronic, that's an issue, because we spoke about this last week. Insulin on its own is not the problem. We all know what insulin's role is. Insulin's role is an anabolic hormone. It's really, really good. It can help when you're in the gym to build muscle. The problem is when it becomes chronic. This is where the issue here is. So there's a massive difference here. Yeah. And we need to look at why these insulin levels are being chronically elevated. We need to understand, okay, why are you, like Tony mentioned, why are you thinking about food? Why can't you not just be in that relaxed state where you can have a meal and you don't need to eat again for another 8 or 9 hours? Why do you have to eat every 2 hours?
Exactly.
Yeah. And
that's what it comes down to.
One aspect that I wanted to mention about the video that we've just seen. You see celebrities like Oprah and Serena Williams, and you have to realize, just like we are not elite athletes, we are just normal athletes in life. So when we talk about gym and exercise, we have to think about it. But also here we have to think about the fact that we are not these rich celebrities with very comfortable houses and probably everything neatly arranged. When they go home, they have probably, even Oprah, they will eat like organic food and high quality food because they have the money for it. Mm-hmm. So those factors will sort of help them. I mean, of course, they are taking GLP-1 and that has all these negative effects, but there are a lot of factors that helps them in daily life, and maybe they get relatively good sleep and all those things. And another thing, I saw a lot in the comments the remark that it are walking skeletons, human skeletons. And that was also the first thing that I was thinking about. When I saw that picture just a minute ago, I was immediately thinking of Michael Jackson and how he obviously also had a lot of psychological and mental problems, probably not just from his being a celebrity, but also all the food and medicine he was taking. And that's clearly happening here as well, because if you see them walking, it's like, that's immediately I had to think about Michael Jackson. And the only thing that is going to make them live longer is the fact that they are in a severe calorie deficit. Because if you look in animal studies, animals live longer in a calorie deficit, like in an aquarium with the fish, but you cannot say that they are happy or that they are healthy. That's probably quite the opposite.
Well, I know, man. If I had fish, I'd be talking to them. Trying to talk to them anyway. But you know what? When someone made, actually Byron in the comments made that they received celebrity endorsements. That's what leads me to the next video. That yes, Peter sent this to me, or I can't remember who did, but it's like his comment was, "Tony, this is gonna really make you angry," and it did. And I'm trying to really contain my anger because I'm urging people to just think and take everything in. Don't get sold down the river by this quick fix bullshit, which I know a lot of people will, because it's inevitable. Like this, when we get inundated with this stuff, it's really hard, especially when they preying on weakness, when you're already fragile and you're, whether you're obese or you're overweight, and society keeps bombarding you with it's your fault, you're broken, obesity's a disease, all this shit. It's so easy to just take these endorsements, if you will, and ride with it. But you don't understand the possible outcomes, the possible way to do this. There is a right way. And you know what? Empowering somebody, in my opinion, is the right way to go, by building your health, by understanding your health, not just taking a drug and thinking it's going to be all good. Because this clip that we're going to watch, and we're going to get into the business side of it, which is frightening.
I'm on Roe. They say GLP-1s for weight loss is a shortcut. It's not. It's science. After kids, it's the medicine my body needed. GLP-1s helped me lose 31 pounds. One app to hit my goals. This is healthcare. This is Roe. I'm Serena Williams, and I'm a real Roe member.
¿Quién lo diría? Serena.
Okay. So now, did you notice what she said there about the child after childbirth weight? You know what I mean? So what do all these women that are having weight gain after pregnancy thinking in that moment? Trust the science. Trust me, bro. This is medicine. This is science. What the hell is going on? Now, the worst part of this is, what is Roe? What the hell is Roe? Well, I'll tell you what is Roe, because we're going to look at it right now. First slide. I did some research into Roe, and it's not a drug. It's a telemed healthcare program. Just call in. If you qualify, we'll match you with the GLP-1 of where we think. All you got to do is just fill out a questionnaire. If you're approved, it comes to your fucking door, man. Like, this is insane. And then what is Serena Williams' role in Roe? Well, her husband is on the board.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. So he's an investor in this thing. So in plain English, what is the advertisement essentially saying? You can obtain GLP-1 injections through our online medical platform. In other words, the advertising focuses on the access system rather than introducing a new medical treatment. It is just a show. This is
el tenis y una gran deportista.
Right. Remove that. Boys, what are you thinking?
I'm just speechless. When I sent that on today, I was like, Tony, you're gonna love this. It honestly, and we spoke about Serena Williams a couple of months ago when she first came out with this, and I was gobsmacked, absolutely gobsmacked, because I followed this woman. I was a big fan of tennis. I was a big fan of the Williams sisters, but her credibility just went down there ever since I seen this. These people, I mean, we need to get back to some common sense here. These people just don't give a fucking shit about you.
Exactly.
It's as simple as that.
And if you're emotionally charged by that, I mean, that's aside from our emotionally chargedness. If you're excited or you think that that's the way to go, and you haven't done any research, but you can just get to, what does that tell you? This is so crazy how, and you know what, my conspiracy wheels are going on here. Notice how Sean Baker's company, Rivero, is about metabolic health and awareness and using diet and lifestyle to get the result. This is Roe. I have a funny feeling that when you're searching Rivero, what comes up? It's kind of weird. And I don't know if I'd love to find out if anybody in the chats feels the same way, because like Rivero is gaining traction. They're helping people heal, matching you to a doctor that's metabolically awake and understanding nutrition. This is the exact opposite. And it just happens to be, why would they call it Roe? Interesting. Yeah. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah, there's one big thing that I have problems with here in this video, and that is that it brings this GLP-1 basically at par with supplements. So some governments and regulation are more against certain supplements like B vitamins, and what if you overdose and they are dangerous? And you see all these videos of influencers, maybe paid even by government to prevent the use of supplements. But this is a big supplement company, and I've taken this insulin pump here. What I also noticed, a pump pen, what I noticed in the video immediately is that if I have to inject insulin, I have to do like this, and there's this sharp pointy needle. It's scary for a lot of people. And she had this device, a helper device that she puts on it. It's like you just put it on top of your body and you click. And in neither cases you feel anything, but this of course gives the feeling of a medicine, a strong medicine. And the other one is like, I do a simple click every day and then I lose weight.
Can I just ask you about that? Can I just ask you about that, Pierre? Do you actually feel that when you're injecting yourself?
No, because, you might feel it because these needles, they have a silicone layer and they are very thin, of course. By the way, that's how I get my daily doses of microplastics, but but you don't feel it basically. If I would do this here, this hurts.
Right. Okay,
it's like once it crosses your skin, really the upper layer of your skin, you might feel it. because anything pointy, you feel it. But if you go quickly, it's really like if you take a vaccination. I mean, I don't do it nowadays, but in the past I've had them, and they are needles like 3 times longer easily. They are also a bit thicker, and sometimes also there, I wouldn't notice anything in terms of the doctor would have given the injection already, and I'm still sitting there. So.
And I just want to talk about the promotion side. Did you guys watch the Mike Tyson advert at halftime at the Super Bowl?
I didn't
see
watch
that.
it.
Did you see that one? This guy got ridiculed for this advert. It was like a 15-second advert where he was going on about processed food, how this processed food actually killed his sister. Her sister had heart complications, and he mentions in the video that this processed food almost killed him. And he got lambasted on social media, saying that this guy earned an awful lot of money for making this ad. But when you look at these ads every year, you have all these celebrities endorsing Pizza Hut, ice cream, Mars, alcohol. Nobody says a word about this. Nobody says an absolute word. Every time I switch on my TV, you'll have some celebrity endorsing some shit.
No, it's a good point, Mark. I mean, if you look at those celebrities, what else are they endorsing? And do you think then, in that case, that they are thinking about what they are endorsing when they are talking about GLP-1? It's like the milk factory. I trust Kerrygold because they produce just only plain dairy, whereas Campina or Arla, they produce plain dairy as well, and it's reasonably okay. But if you look at all their other products, that really showcases their true interest in your health, which is none.
Yeah, and you know what? Remember when Cristiano Ronaldo, how much shit he got in when he took the Coke and took it off of his camera? He was like, why would he do that? What is like, yeah, because he doesn't drink Coke, man. He thinks it's shit. What's the problem? But everybody gave him shit for it. It was like, what? Yeah, it's these celebrity endorsements, man. It's very, it's crazy, man. And
it just goes to show you how money is the root of all evil, isn't it?
Yeah.
It really is. It's just it's all about money.
And someone made a comment in there saying Oprah's got shares, and of course she does. Like, of course she's got shares in this shit. And I mean, if anybody wants to know, like, because I just released a video yesterday on the aftermath of GLP-1s, like why this all happens. And we could all probably predict this. Like, just knowing what we know and how things work. And Helix even mentioned in that comment that immediately she had side effects. Shout out to you, Helix. Thanks for coming on. But yeah, this is the shit that people don't hear about. Why don't they glorify this side of things? The disasters that are happening. Because if it's a lifestyle medication and you are not bang on with your nutrition, oh my God. Ozempic face is probably the least of your worries, really. Inside.
See what frustrates me, Tony, is that these poor people are being told that you're going to be on this for the rest of your life. That's what really frustrates me. Yeah. It's like, I think we can all agree that if you're going to do this as a short-term solution, okay, that's fair enough. But where's the cut-off point? Yeah, there has to be a cut-off point. And I believe if you're going to be doing this, I believe you should be off this within a week or two. In my opinion, I don't think you even need this. I think myself and Tony are on the same page here. Yeah. You don't even need this because we've proved it so many times. We had Anthony on our show. I think it was last year. This guy was over 700 pounds. This guy was convinced that he needed these GLP-1 injections. We actually interviewed this guy. This guy lost over 500 pounds. What was it, in 2 years? Yeah, 2 years doing the carnivore diet. He lost his weight himself. So it's like, you know what I mean? The information is out there. Yeah. You just need to go out and look for it. That's what it comes down to.
I can basically think of only one situation where you might use GLP-1, and that's in type 1 diabetics. Yes. So yeah, I talked previously in this show about GLP-1 by consuming allulose. Yeah. And type 1 diabetes is a condition in which there is really something, a certain trait, and I'm not going to explain it here, but it has to do with insulin resistance, which you cannot prevent with diet because there's a certain mechanisms in type 1. Yeah. And GLP-1 can help there. So really microdosing, but we're talking about like probably 10% of what the average person would call a microdose of GLP-1. And maybe, very maybe, in extreme acute cases of type 2 diabetes, under careful supervision. Who knows? Maybe you should use it, but I think it already indicates like if they revert to this type of solutions for type 2, that they are not fully aware of how to treat it.
Peter, you're bang on, because that's the difference between a tool and a crutch.
And a medication, sort of,
right? A tool and a crutch or an excuse,
yeah,
right? And it's there's a slippery slope there. So what happens with these celebrities endorsing all this shit and all this glorification of it? It makes it a crutch. So even the people that use it as a tool, potentially, if it was about education and empowerment, where you go in with some of these weight loss clinics and they work with you, because we had Dr. Jocelyn Foran on, and she's a metabolic health practitioner who is on her own now. She doesn't practice Canadian health, but she works with her people, her patients, fixing their metabolic health with the start of diet, lifestyle, using these things. And she even admits GLP-1s can be a tool, which the problem is now they're making it so easily accessible for everybody. And if you look at the price of this, just the cost alone, in Australia, I was doing some research, and it just happened to be an Australian breakdown. If you're a diabetic, it's about $40 to $50 a month. If you're not a diabetic, don't worry about it. It's only $500 to $600 a month. And if you need more as you increase your dosage, that doubles. You pay per dose. Unbelievable. And not one time do you talk about the possibilities of the exit plan. That's what I'm concerned about. Why is there no exit plan? No, the governments and the celebrities are pushing lifestyle. They're pushing necessity forever. Why? Money. Think about it, people. You know, it's money. There's no other explanation. They don't care about your health. They don't give a shit about you. They give a shit about how many times they can inject the shit into people's arms forever. That's it.
Talking about money, Tony, is that I was in a discussion in the comments somewhere with somebody recently, and it was whether supplement companies or medicine companies, let's say big pharma, have more money. And the guy was trying to claim that supplement companies are bigger. Well, that's not true, because, I mean, just look at GLP-1. It is like the same amount of money that's flowing there, like the GDP of Denmark.
Yeah.
And well, the only thing is, going back to what I just said, is like you talking about the crutches. GLP-1 is sort of becoming a supplement. Because it's treated that way now.
Well, it's just like heart disease medications, beta blockers, statins. They're these lifestyle medications. They're supplements. You wake up, you take your medicine, and it's part of your life. You know what I mean? It's like, this is not a protein shake, people. Like these have effects and side effects, and I have a really tough time with side effect definition. I think if it's affecting you right away, that isn't a side effect, man. That is an effect. If you don't have them, you're lucky, and that's I'm going to calm down a little bit here, but it's mind blowing how. And then we get called crazy because we're thinking logically, and like Mark mentioned, with real food. Like, I don't care if you're a carnivore or not, but shit, man, the jury's out. Red meat is healthy. Simple. That's it. I think you should eat it.
I mean, at the end of the day, Tony, we've said this all along. Don't take our word for it. Just do it. Just give it about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Give it about 2 weeks. What have you got to lose? Just try it and you'll see this for yourself. I mean, that's what it comes down to. None of us are ever going to force this on you. You have to make this decision for yourself. But when you make this decision, you're going to be like, oh my God, why wasn't I not told this a long, long time ago?
Yeah. And that's you want to feel the effects of a healthy diet. Go to the carnivore community worldwide. Check out every single video we've ever done. Go look at these people that are talking about how they've done things. And everybody's a little different. It's not like there's one time thing. This is carnivore. Like I see that there's a little bit of dissension amongst the ranks about what is what. It's human food, people. Human food. You can argue all day long what it is, but if you try to eat like a human as best as you can, whether you're a vegan or a carnivore or a keto, whatever, try to eat real food and do your best. I mean, obviously, we all have our opinions on what that is, and I would support what I've done because it's affected me, you know, and I've seen it. And then we do shows like this that we meet people like I know you guys all through social media. Sometimes we argue with people. Sometimes it's just hearing people's stories. These are powerful things that are real. And
but like you said, Tony, I think it's important that we do argue with these people, because if we don't, this is where we're going at the moment.
Yeah.
If we don't fight against these influencers on social media, these people are just going to keep on convincing the world that the GLP-1 is what you need here. This is the solution. It's always going to be about calorie deficit. Cholesterol is the problem here. You need to be on a low-fat diet. So I get what you're saying, that we shouldn't be too forceful on these people. I get that, but if we're nuts, they're gonna literally walk all over us. They're gonna walk all over us. They're gonna treat us like crap. They're gonna say, "Well, I told you I was right," and we can't allow that to happen. I'm not gonna allow that to happen, because everybody's struggling at the moment. You know what I mean?
I'm not talking about experts. I'm not talking about doctors. I'm talking about just people that are, you know, we need to be guiding them. Like, and that's right. We need to be the opposing force, speaking goddamn logic and critical thinking. You know, I want, like you say, Mark, question everything I say. Yeah. I do not expect to know everything. I do not expect to be right about everything. I cannot live your life, but I've done things that are pretty cool, and I've watched people heal impossible things, and that's very hard to argue.
And that's what it comes down to. You just cannot argue. You can't argue with this. You just can't. How?
But that's also not what they are doing, Mark. They are basically not arguing. They are just walking over us, and they are objectifying carnivores and making ridicule of it. And of course, they cannot deal with the fact that tens of thousands of people, for example, heal their type 2 diabetes or any chronic gut issues and all those things. And so they just revert to these things. Like there was a video of Nagra this week where he was talking about the vegan article, but he interjected a sentence over there referring to carnivores, like, oh, if there is any of those ridiculous carnivores claiming that this study shows that vegans have 40% more risk of it, then they are talking bullshit. Basically, and now
Peter
I'm probably not. That's not favorable for the algorithm. Sorry, but they are talking nonsense, and they are, because that vegan study didn't show anything, just like red meat studies don't. But he was again like just framing the carnivore community basically as
Peter,
if they are just like that.
Peter, that's a good time to segue. Now we've had our piece with the GLP-1 factor. Now we're going to switch gears into this that affects everybody, man. And what blows my mind is about this bullshit. We all have been affected by cancer. Every single one of us in your life, or somebody, loved one, a part. This is for us to not be able to share some lifestyle interventions against the business of it is mind-blowing. And it's funny how my thoughts on this video that we're going to see, it doesn't matter, man. You're arguing the wrong bullshit. You're pointing out stuff that is insignificant to outcomes. And we label cancer, and this will get into the Thomas Seyfried side of things. It's a metabolic disease that is everywhere. Whether it's brain glioblastoma or liver or pancreatic, there's something that's mismatched. Now, setting this up, it's all constantly. We all know that red meat causes colorectal cancer, right? Like we all know that it's so bad for us, and that's where I'm going to let Peter lead into this with Dr. Nagra, who I'm not a big fan. I think I
am a big fan, but in a way that you're
his debating skills are always trying to. It's just debate tactics, and he's very good and very intelligent at using these tactics to trick, bait and switch, straw man. And I bro, I think you're a vegan. You look okay, sure, but your logic is completely railroaded. It doesn't make sense. So, Peter, I'll let you lead the way.
Yeah, I have to re-upload it, but meanwhile, as an introduction, I would pay attention to how Nagra, because what you said, Tony, he is very well aware of how science works. I think he's a smart guy. Actually, he's very smart because he knows how to get away with things when it suits him and present the exact things when it suits them as well, like in this vegan study, because he is going to mention all kinds of arguments that we also use when we are trying to show that red meat studies are not showing anything. And they are exactly the same. So I also, personally, I have to recollect the full video, but I think I probably agree with 90 or 100% of what he's saying here. And because the study doesn't show anything. It doesn't.
Yeah. I feel
so look at that especially.
Do you want me to bring it up, Peter?
Vegans have a higher risk of colorectal cancer, or at least that's what the headlines are taking away from a new study. So let's dive in and see if this is really cause for concern. The researchers included 1.8 million people from 9 prospective cohort studies, which included various types of vegetarians or flexitarians and just under 9,000 vegans. And over the median 16-year follow-up, the more plant-based diets were generally associated with a reduction in the risk of multiple cancers, but the finding that really sticks out is that vegans actually had a 40% higher risk of colorectal cancer. And this is despite them not consuming things like red or processed meats, which are consistently associated with a higher risk of colorectal cancer.
Just ruined it.
Yeah, I think this is already a good point, right? He's immediately referring to other population studies of the same type, trying to frame red meat as bad food. And another thing, he already emphasizes that the vegan subset is small and all those things. And he forgets to mention that 1.4, by the way, is already quite higher because you don't see it so much in population studies. But he forgets to mention the people with esophagus cancer, which are at 90% higher risk. He doesn't talk about it, I think, and that's just amazing.
No kidding. Yeah, it's funny how he said that there. You just like kind of but.
And I mean, he's correct.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say exactly the same thing with the red meat study.
Yeah. No kidding. Well, let's roll on, buddy. This is it's great.
On that note, if you see a carnivore parading around this observational study as evidence of vegans having a higher risk of colorectal cancer while dismissing all of the research on red meat and colorectal cancer, you need to ask them why they're being inconsistent. It highlights a clear double standard and just showcases their bias. But with that out of the way, back to this study. There are some caveats we should consider regarding the finding for vegans. For starters, 82%.
Sorry?
It's kind of hard knowing this guy's stuff. That wasn't a little dig. Like just got to throw that in there. It wasn't really relevant except for just anyway.
Well, and now we will go into the quality of the diet, the population subset, all these things, context of the diet, like it was. Well, we'll see it.
% of the vegans in the entire analysis came from just 2 studies. And one of those studies, the EPIC Oxford study, seems to be driving that association with colorectal cancer. That's notable because the study began when calcium fortification in plant-based milks wasn't as common and the calcium intake in the vegans was quite low. And since calcium intake may lower colorectal cancer risk, as noted by the authors of this new study, the low calcium intake may partially explain the risk. Also, findings from the EPIC Oxford and Oxford vegetarian studies suggest that vegans have an 18% lower risk of total cancer. And that's also supported by a 2017 meta-analysis that found that vegans have a 15% lower risk of total cancer. So even if it were the case that vegans have a higher risk of colorectal cancer, they may still have a lower risk of all cancers combined. Beyond that, the meat eaters in this new analysis also tended to consume fairly little processed meat, so you aren't exactly comparing to the typical Western diet today. And
madness, isn't it? It's just crazy. Honestly, it's just crazy.
I love how he said plant milks for calcium.
It's just
like why do you have to add calcium to something that doesn't have calcium in it if it's
good?
Yeah.
And why are you calling it milk, buddy? It's plant soap.
But we can mention like 10 or 20 of factors that are like this for meat. Like grass-fed organic meat is something totally different from the stuff that you get from the supermarket. we don't add in the ketchup and the bun, of course. I mean, the cliche thing, of course, but it's true. And then he is taking a part of the study here to argue that it shows that vegans have less risk for all kinds of cancers, because like the hazard ratios are, I don't know, 0.9, 0.95, so it's just not even that small. And at the same time, going against this claim that it causes colorectal cancer. Mm. Well, all of those things are not shown in this study. None of them. So it's like...
Yeah, no doubt. And
I mean, this is just a perfect showcase of where his bias is.
No kidding. And it's
yeah, I'm not a doctor.
You liar, you liar. Yeah. You're just covering your arse now, Lisa. Or Peter.
Yeah, but let's get rid of that one.
what I'd love people in the chats to realize too is like, Peter is an extremely intelligent guy that is very, very good at parsing information. And you know, we all fall victim to this, like, trust the science and where these studies are coming from. And you can spin these things any way you want. Like you really can. And once you understand, I can't understand what goes on, but I know sort of what to look for to call bullshit. You know, and once you realize how data manipulation and, you know, all these studies, how they work, it's almost impossible to call it, like, and Bart K says it all the time. You can't say risk. You can't say this. Yeah. It doesn't prove anything. It just, you know, and it's so cliche, but it's true. And I think Matthew Nagra is very good at spinning his narrative the way he wants to. And like you mentioned before, Peter.
But I think the most important thing is here, lads, that these studies that these guys keep on coming out with, this is just correlation. This was never based on causation, ever. Like, if it was, I need to see it. I need to see this evidence, these studies on real life people, because that's where it comes down to. Like, you can talk as much as you like, and we all think that this guy is amazing and he backs up his research. Yeah, he talks very, very well, but he can't back it up. That's where I have the frustration. He just cannot back this up, because if he could, he would have people on these videos with him say, okay, this person literally changed their life. Whereas I can do this. I can pick anybody in who I've worked with in the last couple of years and say, well, hang on a second. You're telling me that these people were doing this, but these people were actually getting the opposite effect. These people were actually doing the opposite. And this is why I felt your pain this week, Tony, because as you know, I had this with my family 3 years ago, and this is painful. This is fucking painful.
Yeah.
And I saw what happens with these two people. And I'm sure you went through all this yourself this week. This is not right. This is just not right. We need to start getting really angry about these people. We really, really do. This is why I get frustrated with this guy, Dr. Ids, Terry Simpson, this fucking Jacob Foods guy. He's promoting seed oils at the moment, and he's telling the world, like, there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, this is what really, really angers me. Really angers me, because we as coaches, we understand this. We're able to go up against these people, but the average person, the vulnerable person, they haven't got a clue. They haven't got a clue, and they're like, okay, whose side am I on here? Am I on Tony's side, or am I on this doctor's side? In their head, they're thinking this guy's a doctor, so this guy knows everything. What does Tony know?
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
And go ahead, Peter.
Yeah, just a quick thing that if you take a bird's eye view on these studies, so if you wouldn't even read them, the fact that one study shows that 40% increase in colorectal cancer with vegan diet, and the other one with red meat intake, that should make you think. And another aspect here that's just very clear, if you look at the videos of Nagra in general, so you don't even have to go into details, but he is here being a very nuanced guy when it's about vegan studies. And his average video, if you're lucky, he only prints out a PubMed title or something like that very quickly on the screen, and you will see 5 or 6 of them in the entire video. that makes no sense. So here, the level of detail is of a totally different level than in his average videos. I mean, it took like 3 minutes, this video probably. We didn't see it until the end.
Yeah.
And most of his videos are like 60 seconds.
And do you ever question this and say, well, these studies that these people are basing these facts on, do you ever stop and think, was this based on a survey? So if you had 1 million people in the world and you just asked them the simple question, do you think red meat causes cancer? Most of them, I'd say, but 98% of them would say yes. Now, does that make it real? Does that mean that's the actual cause? Or is this just basically your opinion? Because I believe this is just an opinion. I believe all these studies that we're listening to, and that's another thing I want to bring up as well. Apparently, because this is what I've been told, there's up to 600 studies on this that red meat causes cancer. Now, I haven't seen those 600 pieces of information. Have you? I've seen probably one or two of them, but again, I've looked into these.
Here's the trick, Mark.
Here's
a trick. This is where it gets really. I'm putting my conspiracy hat back on. When you have a study that is peer reviewed, you look at the authors and how many times that study's been cited.
Yeah.
Matters, but who cites them? So you have Walter Willett, who is the head of T.H. Chan Harvard School of Nutrition, who is funded by, he's a plant-based guy, and he is the most cited researcher on the planet that just gets regurgitated all the time. So that's another side of this that people don't realize, is that it's politics in the researching world. There is politics at play, and it's disgusting, but it's true. So when these doctors get cited, or these researchers get cited multiple times, it can be almost the same study. It's just another paper based on the same. It's mind blowing how crazy they can manipulate information. And this
is why we shouldn't be trusting the World Health Organization. We need to be questioning these things, because they're getting so many things wrong. And at the end of the day, if they were getting it right, then why is everybody struggling? And name one disease they've cured in since they've been in business. Well over 100 years, they haven't cured any diseases.
And if you can just do this, go on PubMed and Google any kind of meat bashing study and look at the names, you'll find Walter Willett's names on there. Why? Because he endorses the study. He does nothing for it. But Walter Willett will be present on most of them. And those, like these authors that Peter's showing up, these are the researchers. These are the people that are involved in taking this information and parsing the data.
Yeah, for example, here, if you look at it, well, I don't have, here he is. Like, here is a typical,
Walter Willett.
Red meat
study. See, people, I can already tell you this is bullshit because he's endorsing it. What is his agenda? Plant-based.
Well, there are no conflicts of interest here, but that obviously is not true. But the other one here, the vegan study, obviously doesn't come from Cambridge. This is like mostly Oxford, I think.
Yeah.
And it was funded by World Research Fund for Cancer or something like that.
Yeah.
And no conflicts of interest, they say. Well, we have to see about that. But yeah, I mean, when you see a study with Walter Willett, you know what it's about. But anyway, all these studies have like all these huge number of authors, and it doesn't mean that they have been all writing the paper. And obviously, Walter Willett doesn't write those papers himself as well. So it's like just some starting PhD researcher or so that writes it, just to find a way to basically get academic credits.
Yeah. So what does he become? He becomes the highest cited whatever, and it's just they use him as a masthead to push a study. And that's a thing. Like, I mean, I don't pretend to be a scientist. I don't pretend to know everything about studies. But once you understand how they're all constructed, made, and done research, you can pick them out. You don't even have to read them. You can just see, well, this could be, but it's probably not. Just by based on who's funding it.
I've been there with, I mean, in a totally different field. But if you want to participate in a conference or so, you write a very simple abstract. And yeah, the first thing that you think about is it sufficient to pass peer review? And you'd be surprised how easy it is to get past peer review. You get some comments, and if the peer reviewer might even not be very happy with the article and make some comments, and you adjust it slightly. If it's not too exaggerated, it will simply pass.
And then when you look at this, like Peter, when you take what you just said, and then you look at who and where the food guidelines came from, and Victoria mentioned Georgia E's exposes the WHO for being funded by vegan interests. The Seventh-day Adventist Church has been part of this since the dawn of the Dietetics Association. So you know that. So if you know that, and then you know that it's corrupted in the sun, you can see how it goes. And it's this plant-based agenda is not about health. It's nothing to do with health. It's an ideology and a theology, and they've used politics and political lobbying and power to push an agenda. Why do you think, everybody, that they're so against carnivores? It has nothing to do with your health. It doesn't make them money. And then look at when the food guidelines, when Kennedy flipped, when the red meat's on the top, what did they accuse the world of doing? Using the meat lobby and the egg lobby to fuck. It's like, what? They're accusing the meat people of doing what they've been doing for, God, 100 years. And you know, I watched it. I was in nutrition school. I watched this in real time, watching how and dismantling the narrative. You need complete protein, but don't eat complete protein. You need to cut down on these, but you got to eat these. And it's all pushed. Beans and rice.
Yeah, because that's where we're going at the moment, Tony. You look on social media, I'd say about 60 to 70%. People are saying now we're all fiber deficient. Have you noticed that? Like, have you noticed that?
Yeah.
Like, it's unbelievable. I was only watching it. I was only watching this yesterday on a TV show, and this dietitian was telling the world on this well-known program that apparently everybody in the world now is fiber deficient. It's not protein deficient.
And you know, getting back,
scary. It's scary.
Tying that back into a GLP-1 situation. When you give somebody on a GLP-1 that advice, and you're replacing protein with fiber because fiber is fiber, what do you think is happening to your muscle?
Exactly. You're losing that muscle mass straight away.
And
that's where people get weak as they get older. That's why people are losing their lives when they get older, because they're weak, they're fragile, they're losing their memory.
Don't worry about it, Mark. We'll just put some calcium in the plant milk.
Yeah, and don't worry. Well, we have the supplements for you to help you through this. Don't worry about it.
But, Mark, this thing, how long is it going? Because my impression is that it started a few months ago. This fiber deficiency stuff.
Yeah, I think
there before, but
I'll be honest with you. I think when did it start? I think it was before the Christmas now when I started seeing this.
Yeah,
I started seeing a few influencers coming out with this, and they were saying that, okay, we're all even a few bodybuilders were saying this. And I was like, this is crazy. And then it blew up in the new year.
And
I think February time, it just blew up.
I remember when you sent me, we watched it. It might have been on the show where we watched somebody recommending fiber over protein for kids. Kids are fiber deficient. Oh my Lord.
Yeah, I've been told this. in the place that I'm working at the moment. I'm working with autistic kids at the moment, and I was told off these parents that my child is fiber deficient. That's what I was told. I was told this. I'm dealing with a young man at the moment. You guys have seen the video. His name is Jim. I've spoken to the parents. I've literally pleaded with these parents, like, listen to me. Listen to what I'm telling you. The child is not fiber deficient. When she starts speaking to me about his protein needs, the child wasn't even getting enough protein in for his body weight.
Of course not. Yeah.
It's unbelievable. This child is, I don't know what it is in pounds, but he's around 18, 19 stone. He's a big unit. He's a big guy. And I can tell you right now, his protein requirements is an absolute disgrace.
Yeah.
And that protein that he's getting, it's not even quality protein. It's from whey protein shakes.
Oh yeah, of course. And it's just like, just look at this simple thought experiment that I use this all the time. If your body is a Jenga tower And in order to keep building up, you need to replace the blocks. Fiber doesn't replace the blocks.
No.
Your Jenga tower is going to fall eventually. It gets built so high, recycling its own body. And then they blame you for osteoporosis. They blame you for sarcopenia. This is preventable with protein.
But I mean, go ahead. Sorry, Peter.
Yeah, no, just that a small thing is that fiber obviously is not a building block and not a nutrient. At best, you can sort of see it as a modulator, that in certain circumstances, it can modulate the uptake of macronutrients, do something with your gut as well. I mean, it's not like there's no positive effect of fiber in certain conditions, but that's it, right? It's not going to change your weight loss or health status significantly.
And that's the thing that Byron just mentioned this. I want to just before, sorry, Mark, I'm just going to say it because protein on all products is not protein. That is not essential amino acids. And that's right. So even when you're eating moderate to low protein and you are mixing and matching your amino acids or you're getting them from granola bars, that shit ain't the stuff that makes you, or you not nearly enough. Sorry, go on, Mark.
No, I was just going to add in there real quickly. I mean, what's the body made of? Let's just get back to some common sense here. What's the body made of?
Sugar.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's just that's basically the answer for you right there. It's just you need to think about, okay, what is your body made of? It's made of a protein. Yeah, and that's what you need. That's what you need to look at.
Cellulose.
Absolutely. Well, apparently it is because and it's made of fiber as well, Tony. Or beer.
Yeah, there's a reason why they call it grain brain, wheat belly, and
Yeah, well, fiber is not essential. The body makes all fiber needs itself, right? It's
Yeah, it's funny how all this stuff goes. And tying back into the studies, like, did you guys hear the latest with Nick Norwitz and Dave Feldman? What happened with their study? Holy shit. We're going to have to do an episode about it because you guys know who Dave Feldman is. Dave Feldman has been trying to just bring out the awareness of LDL cholesterol for years. He created the Citizen Science Foundation to fund a lean mass hyper-responder phenotype that he coined to try and see if it all works with heart disease and all. They're just trying to get it. Like, whether you agree with it or don't agree, whatever. The point is, he even admits it. I just want the truth, and we're trying. Well, the company that they got to analyze the data got all corrupted. And basically it was supposed to be blinded. It wasn't blinded. They are just spinning right now because they're like, are you kidding me? This is, and my conspiracy hat goes on. I believe it was sabotage because this thing, the difference. I just watched a video that they did with Ken Berry and they showed the difference in the same data that was researched by different people was completely like the area under the results was ridiculous. And we're talking like there's no excuse for this difference. And so now they've had to be quiet about it because I wondered about that. They stopped talking about it for quite a few months now. And then now I know why, because they've got lawyers and bullshit involved. And my heart goes out to them because, it's pretty crazy. It's pretty wild. But I'm sure people will start hearing about that because this was just this week that came out. Nick Norwitz is pissed. He's like, yeah. So we'll see what happens. But it just shows you that, like, I mean, all this data, all this science, it's flawed. It's not perfect. So trust the science, Serena Williams.
Yeah.
I'm not going to trust yours.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Peter, did you want to get into that Dr. Id's video? Because I think it was kind of relevant, wasn't it?
Well, it's a nice one. Maybe it's a totally different topic or no topic at all. It's just showing Dr. Id's how he is.
Let's do it.
Oh, is this the latest one that he was talking about? Anecdotal.
That one. Yeah. It nicely showcases how, like, you can abuse science to your own benefits, because
the point is
you will be talking about anecdotal evidence, and it is low at the hierarchy of evidence, of course. But you can just disregard any quality of evidence that in the first place, and you can choose which example you take. Are you going to take the carnivore influencer as example or the vegan influencer? And,
I mean, it's pretty much the same. It's pretty much the same video, pretty much as what Dr. Niagara goes on about. Like he's going on about there's no anecdotal evidence that the carnivore diet works. I can't remember he was going on about what's carnivore Ray, wasn't it? He was going on about.
Yeah. I will upload it, but once I click, it starts. So just let me know the right moment.
And I figure we should do this because we always think we're going to get it to it next week, but then some shit pops up and we got to talk about it. So let's handle it now. Let's take care of it, Peter.
2, 7 weird benefits from the carnivore diet. Have a listen.
I've done the carnivore diet for 322 days. These are the most shocking results I've experienced. You would think your farts would be rancid. They're not. Well, protein farts. Yeah, it's a lie. Fiber makes you fart. I'm not joking. I almost never fart. It is very rare that I pass gas. Same with burping. Unless you're drinking a carbonated beverage, you don't burp. Acid reflux. I never have heartburn, which is weird. I thought meat was the culprit. For me, it was sugar.
Okay, what is the problem here?
Tell me.
Yes.
Because it's anecdotal evidence.
Anecdotal evidence, fantastic. Yeah, this is a reliance on anecdote over evidence because there's no control, like you said, for confounding variables. Let's say hypothetically, okay, he went on a carnivore diet. He saw an improvement in his workouts, in his bloating. He saw an improvement in his exercise performance. Okay, now, how could you possibly know that benefit was caused by the change in diet, right? How do you know if it's not from an improvement in sleep quality? Maybe he's less stressed. Maybe he's recently happier because he spent time with his family. Maybe he's gone on holiday recently, right? Maybe he's changed his workout so more aligned with his energy levels, right? How do you know that the benefits or the change or the effect was not caused by 100 other things? You have no.
Okay, I got it.
Pierre, can I ask you a question? Are you not farting anymore because of poor sleep?
Yeah, because of biology, right? I mean, it's just pure biology that meat doesn't enter the colon. So
it's just incredible, honestly. It's just.
But I have a problem.
Mental.
Okay, you are so smart that you're using a scientific method. But it has nothing to do with the guy that was saying it all happened about.
Exactly. This guy is sharing his experience.
He's not talking
his personal
about
experience.
Evidence. He's not saying it is or isn't. He's saying this is what I've noticed and it's happened to me.
Exactly.
Why are you trying to science your way out of that bullshit? Because is it true? Yeah, because you don't need anecdotal evidence to know. It's his truth. This is true.
Yeah.
I am the research. That's where you should say, listen, I am the research. Stick your studies up your bleeding hole.
Yeah.
He's
not wrong by saying all those things. But the guy
exactly.
He's not trying to prove anything. He's trying to share an experience that he's had. And this is the truth. I've done the same thing. I don't fart anymore. I don't have a GERD. I don't have any acid reflux. I don't like all these things have happened. You want to tell, hey, Dr. Itz.
The problematic thing is that Dr. Itz, strictly speaking, is also not wrong because it is true that strictly speaking, it's an anecdote and you cannot be sure. I mean, of course, without collecting all the other anecdotes, without considering biology and some logic, evolution and all these arguments. Without those, if just looking at the anecdote, you cannot be 100% sure that it's purely carnivore diet or even the carnivore diet at all.
No.
But that is already the first thing with farting that is explained by simple biology. So it's like, come on.
But the thing is though, Peter, like I just say something about that. We don't know that the carnivore diet is going to lead to the fountain of youth. But what other option is there out there?
Yeah. No.
You know what I mean? Like it's like that's where you need to go down. It's like, okay, unless you actually do this and you do it for a couple of weeks, you're never going to understand what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Like that's where never.
And that's the thing. If you are gonna, if someone is listening to this and they're on the fence and they're not part of this community or they're wondering what the hell's going on, I'll offer you this experiment on yourself. You can either go 100% vegan for 90 days, and then go 90 days 100% carnivore. Okay, we will see what happens. But if you choose to go 90 days carnivore first, let's see what happens.
Exactly.
Maybe you'll try veganism for a what? I guarantee you're gonna feel it, and that's. I'll put my name on it. Like, good luck.
yeah, just a quick screenshot of a comment I made under this video, because that's another. The first thing I thought about the video is for what you mentioned, Tony, that he's not even talking about evidence. So that's the biggest problem. Yeah. But then at least have the courage to take a vegan influencer as example, because you can show exact same things with any diet or any influencer or any supplement guy or fitness influencer or whatever.
Yeah.
Use that one. It would make his argument even stronger, or even take an influencer that is actually broadcasting a message that is in line with research.
Yeah.
Because also there you cannot rely on this anecdotal evidence, even if the rest of the literature says it suggests that it's true.
Yeah. And here's the thing too, guys, like you guys, we all know each other from this show. We all know what we say, and we can kind of surmise what examples, how we live. But I don't really know what Mark does behind the scenes. I don't know what Peter does behind the scenes. But what we do know is that we've tried things, and what we're sort of like trying to endorse is try it for yourself and make your own mind up. And, I don't live a perfect life. I am no, by any stretch, a perfect carnivore dieter.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't care. I'm just saying, when I have done what I've done, I have noticed things that have happened, and try it for yourself.
And I think that's a good point, Tony, because we've never ever once judged you for that.
Yeah.
And we've never judged Peter when he went off the rails. Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, it's his life. He can do whatever he wants. With me, I'm always, I tried this myself last week. I did experiment. I added a little bit of black pepper in, and I put it up on my social media. My finger blew up. Like, geez, I couldn't believe it. It was really, really bad. And this is the first time in 6 years that I've added something into my diet. Yeah. And I couldn't believe the results. Yeah. Now, could you imagine me adding sugar back in from the past that I had? I was in a bad way. I know after that little incident last week, there is not a chance in hell am I going down that route. Not a chance.
And I'm curious what happens if you add in other things, Mark.
Yeah, no.
It's like, I want you to eat a radish. Eat a radish. But I
think it's important, Tony. I think it's important that, like, at the end of the day, we all know why we're doing this, but it's important not to judge others. I mean, at the end of the day, the carnivore diet is not going to suit everybody, and I'm perfectly okay with that. There's some people out there that are going to introduce carbohydrates, and if they want to do that and it makes them happy, who am I to judge?
Yeah, and I mean, I still, I'll have a treat once in a while because it's a treat. It is. But I go on the defensive when I do these things because I'm not convincing myself it's okay. I'm not convincing myself it's good. I'm convincing myself, hey, let's enjoy it for a minute. But I'm always looking at what it affects my sleep. Does it affect my next day? Does it affect my gut? And sometimes when I try things, my gut tells me right away, like, this is not happening anymore. And I'm going to use this example with Italian sausage. I miss it. I'm Italian. I don't eat pasta anymore because I feel like shit after eating pasta. But I miss the tomato sauce and the sausage. Like, I miss it. So I've been experimenting with certain tomato sauces that I feel like is organic, making it myself. Sometimes my gut does not like it, and it's like, get it out of me. But we tried these sausages from Costco. They're hot Italian sausages. I looked at the ingredients, spices, normal stuff, but whatever, let's eat them. My gut said, you do not eat these ever again. That's what came out of it. I tried these sausages from the butcher that are made organically, and all, like, the ingredients are almost the same, different quality pork. I don't feel the same difference. And it's that kind of experiment that it's like, okay, is it good? I don't do it all the time. But to add something in and not take it personally, that's where I think we missed the point. Is if something doesn't agree with you or is not good, it doesn't matter. But if don't take it personally that, oh shit, if you really love broccoli, I don't know why I would, but try it. But if your body says, get it out of me, like, I don't want this anymore, listen to it.
And that's what I love about my body now, because if I was to introduce foods, my body would tell me, my body would give me the instructions I need to say, this is not good for you. This needs to be removed. This needs to be taken out. Whereas before, when I was addicted to these foods, my body was just used to eating these foods.
Yeah, and that's what they bank on. They bank on our resilience. Human beings are very resilient. We're survivors. That doesn't mean we're thrivers.
I mean, at the end of the day, your body's your temple. Your body's going to look after you. Your body's going to look after you the right way once you feed it the right way.
Yeah.
Your body's going to give you all the instructions you need. So when we go back to the GLP-1, you need to understand that food is instruction. You need to understand, okay, this food is having unbelievable control over you. So when we speak about, okay, the food addiction, the food noise, we need to understand what the real issue here is. The real issue, the mechanism. Yeah, it's like these food have 100% control over you. You don't, it's not the other way around.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's not willpower. It's understanding the signals and understanding that your hormones are trying to communicate. And when you block them or add them or whatever, or mess with them, what do you think happens? The cascading effect. It's not plug and play here. Like it gets a lot more.
Yeah, and there are a lot of things that can influence willpower. First, the food, of course, itself, and it will influence your hormones, but also frustration, because as a type 1 diabetic, I had years that I thought I was doing the right thing, and doing those things, putting all effort in it, with a lot of willpower, basically, at some point, it fades away, the willpower, because you see no result. And if you do more, you put more effort in it, it actually stays the same. Yeah, at some point that causes frustration, depression, or whatever. And willpower, I think there is willpower in everybody, but you have to see results. If you don't see results, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And this is what leads to people's relationship with food really, really badly. This is why they get a poor relationship with food, because they end up punishing themselves around food.
Yeah.
You ever notice that? Yeah.
Right.
They just see food as a punishment, and that should never be the case.
No.
Should never be the case.
And the tricky thing, by the way, is that initially, especially, you will see result. So you put more effort in it, you do more training, you'll get even better results, and at some point you will be confronted either with backdraw or whatever how you call it, or no additional effect when putting in more effort, and at some point it breaks down, and it goes all the other way around.
It can only last for so long, Peter. It's like the calorie deficit. You can only do it for so long, and then it's just like, okay, I can't do this anymore now. My body's just giving up on me. I have to go back to my normal eating habits. And people have no idea why this happens. Because this happens to everybody in the world. Everybody in the world goes through this. They do the low calorie diet. It works for a short period of time, but they just can't maintain it.
And make no misconceptions about this. The food now is not the same as it was 50, 60, 70 years ago. So even from a metabolic standpoint, you are not eating the same bread. You are not eating the same pasta. You are not eating the same cereals, chemicals, pesticides, environment, all this shit makes it even worse. So I think that's another day. We got to get into that, because it was frightening when RFK Jr. was on Joe Rogan talking about how glyphosate is necessary for the American food supply. And I would love to get into that with you guys, because wow, that's crazy. So I think that's a good time to wind this one up, boys. It was a great one. I really enjoyed this. As tough as it is to talk about some of these subjects and get uncomfortable, I think it's necessary. Mark, I agree. And we got to keep screaming. And we do appreciate all the comments and the people joining in the chats. We're trying to get this word out there, guys. Help us out. If you think it's going to piss somebody off to hear this stuff, send it to them. Share it, because it's just about awareness. It's bringing it out, and we do appreciate all your help, and we love you all. Thank you. Before we wrap up, Peter, any last words, and where do people find you?
Yeah, well, just a short thing. I was looking up all kinds of influencers that disappeared. Like there's maybe I'll talk another time about it. But there's a carnivore influencer, and I now see a picture of him, and he has blown up as well. So it's unfortunate that how people change after stopping carnivore. Anyway, people can find me as Low Carb Perspective on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. That's my English content. And in the Netherlands, I have a channel, Dutch Carnivore, in Dutch, focusing just a little bit on carnivore, about what I eat, but mostly on science and also low-carb ketogenic diets.
Perfect. Mark?
And I just want to echo the message what Tony just mentioned there. I know he mentioned at the very, very beginning, but if anybody is thinking that red meat is the issue here and it's going to cause cancer, just watch this. Just watch this again, guys. Just watch it again and just make up your own minds. Because like what we mentioned all the way through this, we're not going to force this on anybody. We're just going to say to you guys, why don't you just give it a go? Give it a go, and this could literally change your life. Because I believe the difference between the way we're eating right now compared to the average American or European, and they're eating vegans and they're eating all this processed food, this diet could potentially save your life. I'm not saying it will. There's no guarantee in life, but it's a damn good start. In my opinion, it's a damn good start, because it all starts from what you feed the gut. I'm always going on about the gut-brain axis, and everything starts from what you feed the gut, because everybody has to eat. We all know this. This is the one thing we have full control over. Out of everything that's going on in the world at the moment, all this shit, the one thing you have full control over is what you put into your body.
Yeah.
And you need to look a little bit deeper into this. So again, just watch the video again and just make up your own mind. Remember, you are the researcher. Forget about all these studies. Forget about all this bullshit you see on social media. You are the evidence here. And if you guys want to know more about me, I'm on social media myself. Just key in on Google Fitness Beyond Time. You'll see me. I'm on Instagram. I'm on TikTok. And if you guys ever want to reach out to me, you can reach out to me. My email is nsmark93@gmail.com.
Awesome, buddy. So yes, and we are the meat of the matter, guys. We're talking about stuff, and sometimes it's not fun. We don't enjoy talking about the business of cancer and the nonsense of the GLP-1, but we feel we need a voice to contrast the mainstream narrative. And it seems like nowadays, especially more than ever, you need to have your wits about you, everybody. You need to think critically in all aspects of our lives. We're getting bombarded with bullshit, false information, misinformation, disinformation. Choose your path wisely and just take in stuff. And if something's sparking an emotion, that's probably a time to dig into it deeper. And we are here every Sunday, 10 a.m. Pacific. Next week we're at 11 a.m. Pacific because of this ridiculous time zone, our daylight savings time. 6 p.m. in the UK and in Ireland, and 7 p.m. in the Netherlands and in Europe. And if you know or have somebody that is coming off a GLP-1 and they're struggling and they're suffering, or for whatever reason it is, get them to reach out to me. I'm taking it. I'm starting a new program, a new platform for life after GLP-1s, and that's at lifeglp1.com. It's getting built right now. It should be up and launched within this next week. And I'm just trying to offer a support network for people that are a bit lost or can't understand why they're rebounding their weight loss dramatically. There's always hope, and there's always ways to get empowered. So that's kind of the message. And you can find me at TonyStewartCoaching.com or TonyStewart_food for thought. We are the meat of the matter. That is Mark. He is Peter. I am Tony. Thank you for being here, and we will see you next Sunday.
Bye-bye.